Yo, 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 what up, everybody? What up, everybody? This is the one, the original, the babyweight champion of the world, Patrick Davis, your host of the Fringe podcast. I got some amazing guests and friends here with me today. So glad to have these guys. We're just going to freestyle. You know, the rapper in me, sometimes you just got to put the lyrics down, man. You know, we understand people like Drake can't do that, but we're going to freestyle. And so I'm sitting on the other side of the table today. I've got some great friends with me, man. We go back, man. It's been ages. And so let's just go around and introduce ourselves. And yeah, tell me one thing about you. Tell our listeners, I already know, but tell our listeners one thing about you.
Absolutely. We'll start over here. Okay, cool. All right, I'm on the right. What's up, everybody? My name is Jeremiah. I'm from Northeast Ohio. For those of you who don't know what Northeast Ohio has, we just say Cleveland. Whenever we're down here and people ask, like, oh, where are you coming from? They're Cleveland. You don't know anything else. Like, if I say Lorraine or anything else, it's just like, what does that even mean? So Avon, like, nobody know that. So I'm from Cleveland. We're down here. I'm really excited to be here, just with family, you know, just be in this place and get to talk and hang out. And yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm Troy Thompson. I am a friend and brother of Patrick Davis.
Yes. Among many things, which we'll get to. But yes, this is my brother from another mother.
Yeah, I'm David Sage. I've been down here a few times now. When I first started coming to church on the North Coast with these guys, one of the first things that I did was come down here and serve you. So it's been amazing to see you grow and excited
Likewise.
for everything the Lord's doing here. So
Likewise, Pastor.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Did you just call yourself?
No, I said did. No, I just said David. I don't introduce myself as that.
I'd never introduce myself as that.
The dude last night said that. He's like, but tell us your name.
It's
And
like-
one of his staff people said, I'm Pastor Troy Thompson.
Yeah.
He's like, that's not your name.
Yeah.
I love that.
I said name, not title.
That's good. That's good. Dude, that's something you could talk about forever. Like, why is it that people, especially with men, right? You go into a room, the first thing, what do you ask somebody in a room you don't know who they are?
Right.
What's your name? What is it that you do? Right? And so I wonder, like, let me ask you this. Yeah, let's just do it, bro. Before we get to the icebreaker.
We'll get straight.
If I were to ask you, Jeremiah, not what is it that you do, but who are you? What would you say to that, homeboy?
I would say I am a follower of Christ. Yeah. So I'm a follower of Christ. You said, who are you? Yeah, I would say a follower of Christ. Because it's, you know, I think that in the world that we live in, and especially with Christians, you know, I think that there's a difference between a fan and a follower. And I think a lot of people are fans of Christ and fans of Jesus and fans of the Bible.
Facts.
And they like the parts they like and the parts that make you smile. But a true follower is one that picks up their cross and is going to follow Jesus even when it's not fun, even when it's hard, even when you got to pick up the device that is torture, right? Like, even when you got to do the thing that isn't fun and it hurts and it's like, but I'll still be obedient. So, yeah, that's what I would say more than anything is like, yeah, I'm a follower of Christ. Yeah.
It's good. Love it. How do you follow that?
Yeah, I guess, you know, I do this a lot, so whenever somebody asks me a question like
So you're already ready?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm ready because, you know, I'm not answering that question unless I feel safe. Unless I feel safe. So,
Ooh, that's good.
If I feel safe, then I'm going to give you the right answer. I'm going to give you the real answer. I'm going to give you the answers like, this is where I'm from.
Yeah.
These are my struggles.
Yeah.
This is really me. But if we're honest, like nobody, very, very few people get to see you.
Right.
Yeah.
To experience your being.
For sure.
And you tend to only be who you are authentically in front of people who you feel really, really safe.
So good.
And there have been times I know we've been real. Our being was exposed to one another. There were times when our being came forward. And we weren't doing.
Right.
Because most people they define themselves by what they do.
For sure.
Right.
Facts.
I follow this one woman, I think her Vander or something. I'll plug it later or something. But she tells you how to communicate. And one of her things she says is like, she's like, never tell people what you do. It's the most shallow.
So true.
You know, like just cheapest version of yourself doing.
Yeah.
You know? And so, but I mean, I don't tell people who I be, just in casual conversations.
Yeah.
Because I'm real talk. I'm afraid to tell you. I don't want. I'm on a plane next to a person, and they're like, they're like, "What do you do?"
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm in.
I talk to people.
I'm in social work. Honestly, 100%.
That's funny.
What do you do? I'm in social work.
Which is true.
That's true.
Yeah.
I ain't lying to you. But that's what I do.
A specialized field of
I'm
social
not
work.
exposing my being to people that aren't worthy. I'm not casting pearl before swine. So,
Yeah.
So my being is reserved for those. Jesus said, who they said, your mom, your brother are out there.
Yeah.
He said,
Everybody.
Who is?
Yeah.
You want to know who my family is? The people this is Jesus' hands.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't want to get in trouble, but the people I feel safe with, those are.
Yeah.
That's who I'll be in front of.
So true. Love it.
So now you don't get that answer.
No, that's good. That's good.
You already know the answer to that question.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
That's so true. It's good, man. What about you, homie?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to follow up after just saying, don't say anything you do. But I think
that's a problem.
It's a problem. Well, that's
We've
how
been
you
conditioned.
expect. That's how you expect to answer that question. You expect to answer that question with, what do you like to do? Like, who are you? What do you like to do? But I think a lot of times I don't do things very well if I can't be myself. And you can only be yourself around certain people, like you were saying. And I love being myself with like 3 people. The 3 people, and I love doing the things I love to do with about 3 people. And the rest of the there's other people that you do stuff with and you enjoy and you love people, but I love being with my people. I love loving on my people. I love hanging out and doing stuff with my people. Like, that's making music. I love being creative. I love doing those things with my people, because it's, you get to cast vision and dream with people that love the Lord in the same way that you do. And it's like, you just get to create and be who God created you to be without expectation of being wrong. Like,
Definitely.
yesterday I said something about some peanut butter, and I was like, because I'm comfortable around these two. Like, I'm like looking at these two, and I'm like, they had all this stuff, and they had this sauce, right? This sauce next to some chicken and some steak. And I'm like, and I'm like stirring it up. I'm like, okay, like, what's this sauce? And I put a little bit on my plate, and I'm eating all my food. Like, they had chicken sandwich, they had chicken on a stick, steak on a stick, all this stuff. And I'm like, I eat almost all my stuff. And there's, pastors all around us. And these two, I'm like looking at these guys.
Was it peanut sauce for the chicken?
I didn't know what it was.
It's Indian, isn't it? Yeah.
I started crying. I started laughing. He's like, have you? Dude, we haven't even met this guy.
I guess so.
This dude is just from, I forget where he's from. Like,
So they said that
he's from the other side.
He has like one of the biggest churches in the state.
Is that what he said?
That's funny.
This is like the biggest pastor in Kentucky. Like,
Oh my
It
gosh.
doesn't impress us.
Sure. Yeah.
Dave's like, bro, he's like, he asked the guy, hey, did you have this sauce? And I looked at David like, this is so awesome. This is so awesome.
It's real.
I love it when you just take titles. And you're like, bro, did you hate this sauce?
Yes.
Like, then it goes on. He says, I don't even think it's sauce, to be honest. I just think it's peanut butter.
That's
I
funny.
was like, oh, that is the greatest.
That's amazing.
All the pretension in the room just
Gone.
gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
Those
oh,
moments
man.
are the best, for sure.
Oh, man, I
yeah.
loved it.
And I think it freed the guy a little bit, because
I
he
think he
laughed.
did.
He was like,
Yeah.
Ain't nobody impressed.
yeah, like, I'm not
right.
going to come to you, dear pastor, did you taste this? Like, no,
Right,
bro.
right,
Hey,
right.
did you taste this? It tastes like peanut butter, dude. Why they got peanut butter with chicken?
So
I'm
crazy.
like, there is
I
a
was like,
sermon for someone in there. Like, stop selling sauce.
Right.
Peanut butter,
Peanut
boy.
butter and
Yeah.
sauce, homie.
For
It's
sure,
just
for
peanut
sure.
butter.
It doesn't work there, man. It doesn't
It's
not
funny.
work.
I
Oily
don't know what
peanut
we were talking
butter.
about that, but that was absolutely.
It was peanut sauce for chicken satay. I know exactly what it is.
Is that what that is?
If it's
No.
made right,
It wasn't a
if it's
sauce,
made
though. It was
right though,
peanut butter.
yeah.
Right.
If it was peanut butter, that's wild.
I am
So it was
taking
weird.
That is
and
an
I'm
insult
putting
to
it on
Indians.
so weird. stop selling peanut butter.
Oh, that's amazing.
Sauce.
Somebody who's Indian is going to be furious that you were giving peanut butter instead of real sauce.
They didn't make it right.
Oh, that's
they didn't
funny.
make
There
it
was
right.
no something in there.
Yeah,
That was like Robert back there making it.
Yeah, that wasn't nobody Indian back
That
then.
was yeah.
No.
Yo, just throw a little olive oil in there, and mix it up.
Yeah, they was tripping.
It's funny.
Oh, my goodness.
I always joke about like, you know, I love all kinds of cultural foods. You almost have to. Growing up in Cleveland, and
Right.
I did not grow up as one of those Caucasians that does not use spices or flavor in my food, you know. And I always say, you know, a good sign to look for if you're going to any type of ethnic restaurant, if you don't see those people in there eating the food,
Right.
Yeah.
red flag, homie.
Right,
You know?
this ain't right.
I go
Yeah.
to this little hole in the wall Mexican joint over here, and it's amazing, bro. It's amazing. There's always Hispanic guys in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, where did it? Oh, I know what it was. Australia, bro. I was in Australia, and they're like, "Oh, you like Mexican? Let's go to this Mexican place."
That's crazy.
And I'm like, "Okay, sounds good," but I'm a little concerned because we're in Australia,
Yep.
and I've not seen a Mexican
no
person
Mexicans
in 3
here.
weeks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And bro, we go to this place, and they were like putting like chicken and dumplings in a tortilla.
No. Nope.
Oh my gosh, what is this stuff?
Yeah, no. You got to have the people there.
Yeah.
We went to upstate, or what's it, Upper
Michigan.
Peninsula, Michigan.
Yeah.
That's beautiful
Same
up there.
thing. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, you want to go to the taco place? I'm like, no.
Probably not.
Ain't no Mexicans up here, man. I ain't trying to eat no tacos from Upper Peninsula.
I'll eat your deer, but yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what y'all make? What do y'all make here?
Yeah.
Speaking of identity, man, you know, you said something. You said a lot of things in your sermons that have stuck with me, and one thing you said, man, that dude, I've never forgot, and I forget. You know, I think I was still living up there when you said this, and you said there was a time in your life where you had learned how to be saved but not be a son. Do you remember that?
No.
It was you. It was you, and that was profound to me. And I would say for me, my answer would be, I'm learning how to be a son. You know, and like, yeah, there's certain ways you live as a son, and there's things that you do, but learning to just rest in that, man. I would say for me, yeah, that's who I'm trying to be, who I am, and something else I've been rolling around in my head lately. I heard somebody say, you know, those of you that listen to the podcast, you've been to the church or know who we are, you're familiar with our story. We often tell people that are coming out of those, you know, prison, coming out of addiction, we tell people you're more than the worst thing you've ever done, right? We got these things drawn up and these logos, and you are more than the worst thing that you've ever done. And
I say that all the time too.
do you?
I should give you credit.
Yeah, yeah.
for that.
Nah, I didn't come up with it. I think it was actually Brian Stevenson who came up with you know, it's a different version of it, but I heard somebody say the opposite. You're more than the best thing you've ever done, right? And I think as men, right, there's that pressure of like, well, what have you produced? What have you, you know, as people are in those rooms posturing, well, how many people attend your thing? You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, yeah, I'm thankful for that, but I'm more than that too. You know, I'm more than my best day. And I hope to have a lot of better days, but yeah, that doesn't define me as much as the worst day. You know, I think that's powerful. So man, why don't we jump into
It's really good, though.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like,
say.
you know, that's something I feel in the kingdom right now. That God's dealing with everybody. In
Yeah.
you know, because you're pushing peanut butter and selling it as sauce.
There you go. That's it. That's it
you
right
are.
there.
Title of this episode.
You are doing it. Everyone does it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But God's like, no, like I'm the sauce.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Your identity is not the thing.
That's peanut butter,
Not what
yeah.
you went through, not what you're going to.
Mm.
And it is that.
Yeah.
So good.
I hear it everywhere I go right now. Like everywhere in the kingdom, it's just a kingdom thing that God's dealing with people with right now.
Well, don't you think it puts a cap on what God wants you to do now? If you're the best thing or the worst thing. You know what I mean? That was yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you preached an amazing sermon last Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's who you are. Until now, we're what are we at, Wednesday or Tuesday?
If you can just reproduce that thing.
yeah, but
I don't
we're
think I've
yeah.
ever preached
I'm just saying, like, we're on Tuesday now, and that's like, if that's what you're living off of, dude, like, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
what about now? Like, what you gonna do right now? How are you gonna bring the presence of God? And it was what we said earlier. It's like, oh, I'm pastor this, or I'm
Yeah.
like, dog. bring the Holy Spirit into the room, like right now, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, like bring him in and let him do something. Let God do something with every moment that you have, because I feel like when you're trying to lead with this title and this thing and this authority, it's fun when you get to go to pastor things, or you get to be in a lineup of preachers getting ready to pray, or you're part of an event where there's all these people. It's like, oh, I'm pastor this and I'm pastor here and I have the dog. Pray, talk about Jesus, bring him into the room. Let's actually focus our attention on him, because that makes more sense than worrying about how awesome you were 2 days ago or yesterday, or how horrible you were 2 days ago or yesterday. You know, I feel like it puts it puts a limit on it when you do that.
What do you think the evidence of sonship is?
Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
It is, isn't it?
Yep.
No striving.
Yeah, there's none of that. That's it.
And you know when you meet somebody who really has like peace, and they're okay.
Doesn't it take a while?
It's rare though.
It takes a while.
Oh, it's hell.
It takes a while to get there to like figure out. Like, man, I'm not any of that. All the stuff I thought I had to do.
For sure.
Any of that. I could have got here without any of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would say for me, and please understand, if you're listening to this, we're not talking about you being saved, right? We work out our salvation, right? It's a process. We're going from glory to glory. But I would say for me, I'm just now getting there, bro. Like I gave my life to Jesus in 1996 inside of a solitary confinement cell, and look at how much time has passed, and I'm just now getting there, right? And I don't think that's like anything to do with church. I think it's me realizing that God wants to heal the younger version of me. And like once I work through all that crap and I realize, hey, even though I wasn't wanted as a son.
You preach a sermon about that.
Yeah. And for me, that's and everybody's journey to that I think is different, right? But for me, why I think that's why it took so long is just working through, okay, yeah, I may not have been physically wanted as a son by my biological father, right? But God, he actually likes me.
Yeah.
And he wants to hang out with me, and
He's
like
not forced.
Yeah. It's not, hey, if I catch the pitch, or you know what I'm saying, or any of the stuff that, you know, we put pressure on our kids to do for our applause, you know. But yeah, that he just, you know, there's that movie The Shack, and I remember the main character saying to the guy who's going through the tragedy, she says to him, is his name Mac in the movie? Was it Mac? I think it was Mac. Something like that. Yeah. She's saying to the guy who's working through all this stuff, who's wrestling with his walk, and she just begins to say to him over and over, you know, God is very fond of you. And like she just kept saying that over, and like I'm in the theater and I'm not, you know, I joke with my wife, like some days I still wonder, am I a sociopath, you know, like I know I'm not. It's just it's a traumatic childhood, but and I'm not somebody who cries all the time, and I don't think you're weak if you do. I think we're supposed to have human emotion, but yeah, I remember being in that theater, or I was watching it somewhere, and dude, I'm weeping, like, oh my gosh, you know, like he's really fond of me, you know. And I think when you can receive the grace of God, man,
those are my most powerful moments of hearing God talk to me.
Yeah.
Is when he says, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, there you go.
That's like when he says that to me, I have to put my face in my shirt. Like I can't breathe. Like it's that impactful when he says that, you know. And I think yeah, that's a part of becoming, like, being a really strong son.
Yeah.
And daughter. That scripture you made reference to just a minute ago in Philippians 2:12, it says, work out, Paul says. Now, you do it all the time when I'm present.
Yeah.
It's easy to do when I'm present, but in
my absence.
So, more in my absence. And then he says, work out your own.
Yeah. Not somebody else's.
Salvation.
Not the person next to you.
Don't worry about whether he's a son.
Oh my!
You got your hands
on
your own, right?
Yeah, yourself.
And then but the whole the concept of working it out.
Yeah.
It's not labor intensive.
Right.
It's
because our mind automatically goes there. It's like, no, bro, it's the opposite.
And
Yeah.
you think you got to hold on to something.
Yeah.
You think it's determined by you. And really, what Paul's saying is you got to rest.
Yeah.
In your sonship. Basically.
Yeah.
You got to rest in the absolute security.
So good.
Of God's hold on your life.
Yeah.
Stop striving.
Yeah.
Because you can't hold on to God.
Yeah. It's impossible.
You can't.
Yeah.
You don't have enough strength.
Yeah.
So he's saying rest.
Mm-hmm.
Just enter into the rest of knowing
So good.
you're a son.
Mm-hmm.
You're a son. Just be at peace with it. Because you strive. When I'm present with you, Paul said, when I'm present with you, you seem to get it.
Yeah.
But then as soon as I leave you, you get insecure.
Right.
You get insecure.
Sure.
And it is work it out. And while you work it out with fear and trembling.
Yeah. I almost wonder, like, when he says work it out, is he meaning, and not to go psychoanalyze and stuff, but like, is he meaning, back to my own struggle, stop avoiding it. Start digging through the root of why.
I think so.
Of the why. Like, why are you striving? Why are you, Yeah.
But it ain't you.
Yeah.
Like what he's saying is like it's not your strength that holds you.
Right.
I got you.
We'd all be screwed if that was the case, right?
You're messed up.
Yeah.
But we're all, the air. That's why I made a joke when we walked in that gym down there.
Yeah.
Like CrossFit Christianity. Everybody thinks they're strong.
Right.
Everybody thinks they're the ones holding themselves because they rubbed a couple days together reading the Bible and they're holy. And I didn't eat meat today. So I can raise the dead, bro.
Right. Facts.
But it ain't got nothing to do with you.
It's so funny.
You got to renew your mind and get to that place where whether you had a great day in Jesus or you just failed miserably.
Yeah.
Or if you just keep on failing.
Yeah.
Maybe you just can't get past it. But you got to get past the idea that his sovereignty is conditioned upon your ability.
Yeah.
Sovereignty.
That's it.
Is not. He worked into the equation your inability. In proportion to your responsibility. To respond.
Yes, that's good.
Sovereign control of your life.
Yeah.
And so it just goes back to like I'm just a son, and I'm a son when I fail. I'm a son when I really do well. I'm crushing it.
For sure.
Rubbing all the weeks together, man. Just leading people to Jesus.
Right.
I'm still a son.
Sure. Sure.
It's countercultural. It's not normal to think like that. Yeah. And it takes work. Not the kind of work that we're used to. It takes rest work. It takes a lot of right. Doesn't it take a lot more work to trust God than it does?
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Work to be like, I can figure this out.
Yeah.
Because you like that, dude.
100%.
Like, you're just gonna go. You're just gonna go and like tell me when. You know what?
Tell me when to stop.
Tell me when the game. Tell me when the clock runs out.
Right.
And I'll probably still keep going after that. But that killer's in a lot of men. Yeah. It should be in every man.
For sure. It's good. It's powerful. So good, man. So why don't you guys share what God's doing in your life, man? And you're down here in southwestern Ohio.
Does the sun ever shine?
Never. Same as Ohio. Same as Cleveland.
All of Ohio.
Bro,
so let me just speak to this because I want to say something to this, and I joke about it, but I there's part of me I'm serious. Like I'm serious about what I'm about to say. Like it's easy to have a church in Florida. It's easy 100%. To have a church in Cali, homie.
Texas,
hey, shout out to all my homeboys. I'm getting ready to. I got my Florida homies. I will be doing the episodes. Right? I'm gonna be interviewing Pastor Aaron from City Point on Colorado. Like, hey, I love you guys. God's called you there, but hey, let me tell you something. We are built different around here. We are built different. We are built different. The gray blanket is like, it's so oppressive, bro. Oh my gosh. We literally have mushrooms growing out of our shoes. But it does weigh on you psychologically, the weather and and how do you, I think, Pastor Louis obviously, has always gone to Florida. You get away, you see the sun. So let me ask you guys, what are some of the ways that you, back to what we were talking about, you find rest?
Yeah, I think that, to your point, seriously though, because you're talking about the places and how easy it is, you can open up a church in Texas and you'll have a congregation there on Sunday. And that's cool, but that's just the culture and that's Bible Belt. Like, that's awesome. I think that Ohio, Cleveland, Cincy, these cities, like they're blue collar, man.
Yep.
Like we were talking, people don't even get it. Like we were talking about quarterbacks yesterday for the Browns. They're like, oh, do you miss Baker? Like, yes, but we don't have the culture for something to take time and develop, which is against what the transformational work of the Lord does in people's lives. But for this culture here, it's like, man, if you can't win and get it going right now, then I'm gonna move on.
I'm about
because I got bills to pay. I got work to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Survival.
Yeah, and that's the culture of where we are. Yeah. And so when you're fighting against and trying to minister to people like that, it's the same thing. It's like, hey, listen, you got this Baker Mayfield. Like you're gonna have to wait 8 years for it to really transform everything and be what you need it to be. And a lot of people are like, man, they ain't got time for that. You know,
for sure.
And so that's what we're fighting against here, just culturally. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, no, we didn't have 8 years for a Baker to have 7 bad seasons and then turn around and have one good one. Like, bro, we ain't got time for that. But I think that you have to find the joy of the Lord. You know what I mean? In people and in what you do. And I think that kind of to circle back to what you guys are saying and just resting in that piece of like knowing, hey, this is where I'm at, this is my role, this is who I am, and God's got me. I think that it can be a daily rest. You know what I mean? Yes, obviously you can get away, you can do whatever, but like I think that, you know, just having those times where you sit down and read or go work out or you know, just having those moments where you get to just have peace and kind of realign your thinking of like, okay, that stress has been building up or that feeling of anxiousness has been building up. Let me do something to just get out of that for a minute and remember like, oh no, I'm a son of God. Oh, you know, this is nothing. Like I'm okay. You know what I mean? I'm okay in this situation.
For sure.
Which, I mean, for me, especially, like I get to actually be a son and not deal with a lot of stuff. And so I think that even the literal just connotation of that and the learning of that is like, oh man, you got a real problem, go talk to my dad. Like, he got you. Like, oh, you're really mad, okay, go talk to him. But you know, but it's spiritual knowing that too, though, because it's like, oh, it's the same exact way. Like, you know what, I get to be free and operate in what I do, you know, in ministry because I have a covering. You know what I mean? And so I get to be the one to just have fun. It's like, man, I'm playing in this awesome sandbox that I don't have to be responsible for keeping clean and like I just get to sit here. I know. It's it really is, and I recognize that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I just get to sit here and make really cool sandcastles. And I didn't have to pay for the sand. I didn't have to buy the little shovels and the toys, and I didn't have to build this. I just get to sit here and make cool sandcastles, man. And so I think like realigning myself spiritually with that too. It's the same thing. When you know you're a child of God, it's like, oh, he already paid for this on the cross. He already paid for your salvation. He already paid for all of this stuff. Dude, just go build cool sandcastles, man.
Simplicity.
Like,
Where's your sermon, bro?
Got him. So that's what I would say.
I would definitely, you know, I want to help people understand something, because you might not even understand, you know, that blanket of gray. There's such spiritual heaviness attached to it.
There is,
right?
And you can feel it when you fly out.
Right. If you don't, if you're not aware of that, you'll think that is like normal. And it's not.
Straight up.
It's not. And so in order to overcome what you see and feel in the natural, you have to live by something greater. Wow. And that's vision.
That's good.
Vision is not sight. Vision is faith. Vision is not what you see. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of what you can't see. What you see is not real. What you see from your spirit is real. So for me, I have to be charged. In order to make it through the 6 months of dark, I have to literally be charged with vision. Like,
that's good.
Like I have to like live in a place. Like that's why I'm down here now. I'm like, all right, we're coming in. Like I need a charge. I need a charge. And like Habakkuk is real. Like get a vision. Live by it. But run to that every day, and don't allow yourself to be subject to like the realities of like sight.
Yeah, that's good.
Live by sight,
Yeah.
live by faith.
Love it.
So for me, I mean, and there's a practical side to that too, because you get out of the dark and you go to the light, and you're like, I literally said this when I woke up this morning. I walked through that. We were staying in this Airbnb, and I was like, I literally said it out loud. I walked by in your room. I was like, is the sun ever going to shine?
Your spirit just
ever
reaches,
gonna be sun?
reaches a breaking point.
Is the sun ever going to shine? Dang it. Vision, man.
Go outside and fall to your knees. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you saying it. It's so real. But that's a spirit, man.
Yeah.
It's definitely a spirit that is attached to that dreary, just depressed.
Yep.
You know, and if you
Defeated.
don't have the
Yeah.
strength spiritually to like, it will overtake you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll start taking, and then what does the enemy do? He's like, okay, let me get these people to take some.
Let me numb you out. Yeah. Yep.
Right, and then pharmakia.
Yep.
You know, then you're messing around with sorcery and witchcraft.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
and you take, you know, and that's not an indictment.
No.
That's just like, hey,
Yeah.
this is a spiritual battle.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
in. And
Right.
You got to live in the light as He is in the light. You got to walk in that light, and part of that is getting a greater vision for your life and getting up every day and running to what you see in your spirit.
That's
Running
good.
to what you see in your
That's good.
spirit.
It's good.
It's good. It's just why He allows us to dream.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, man. It's powerful.
So see, you live down here in the gray, right? But you got vision.
Yeah.
You got vision.
Well, there's keeping power to it.
Yeah, you got.
It's an anchor, and I think when you have that anchor, it doesn't matter what the storm's doing, right, or what's going on. You know. I think there's some, because I've tried. I've literally tried. Like I remember years ago I was going to immigrate to Australia. Like I literally looked into it. Like I can't take this anymore. You know what I mean? I love all my family and my homies. You know what I mean? But bro, like I can't. The heaviness and the mopiness of the you know what I mean? Like I just can't. You know, and
You ever ask God, why can I go to Florida?
I know, right. But I remember, but it's weird though, because every time I would move, like I remember after the recession when the economy tanked, it was 2008. I packed all my stuff because of work stuff. I moved all the way to Denver. I had a friend out there that was doing construction. He had some work that could have kept me busy, and beautiful out there. Everything's nice. I'm making good money. The sun's hitting me every day, even in the winter. But there was still the Midwest just calling, whispering, "Hey, come on back to the sewer, come on back to the dark." And it wasn't like the devil. It was calling, right? And it was like,
so
and this is what I want to tell you, man. If you're in a space and you're in a dark place, you don't have to go somewhere else for God to move in that space, man.
Right.
Like God's calling and His purpose are not. They're not limited to your geography. They're not limited to the resources you have or don't have. And if there's anything I've learned and the grit that the Midwest has taught me, it's like, no, like you don't need to go to New York or LA, right? Whatever that means for you, right? From a music or artist point of view, right? It's like, well, I got to go to Nashville. No, you just got to write a good song. And so wherever you're at, look at Oliver Anthony, regardless of how you feel about his philosophy and what he wrote about the song. But it's like Oliver Anthony takes a cell phone out into the woods, you know what I mean?
With a dog.
And writes a song with a dog. But whatever he was saying resonated with the average person. Like he just needed to write a good song, you know, and be authentic.
Yeah.
And so wherever you're at, homeboy, homegirl that's listening, just create something authentic and something real and stay connected to the source of it all, man. And God will cause you to prosper in the land of your suffering.
And don't let the dark scare you.
Yeah.
You don't have to be scared of the dark.
That part.
You're a light.
Yeah.
You're a light, man. Just burn.
Yeah.
Just burn. Catch on fire.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Stop. Just catch on fire. A lot of people today, like, I'm burned out.
Yeah.
No, you ain't really been on fire yet.
Right.
You ain't on fire. You burned out before you burn.
That's good.
You got to burn, man. If you burn in the dark, you'll survive it.
Yeah.
You can survive it. But if you don't burn in the dark,
Definitely.
it'll overtake you.
Well, if everybody runs from it, where is the light?
Yeah.
Where's it at? You know? Yeah. So I appreciate you guys and the legacy of the ministry. Those of you that are listening, if you're not familiar, these guys are all from church on the North Coast, CNC. Shout out to my homies. pastors, youth pastors here, young adult pastors, now lead pastors of the church, and you guys celebrated 50 years. 50 years, bro. God has done through you all, through your dad, through you guys now, through the next generation now. He's created something that I think is profound in a lot of ways, and I can say this because I've been to thousands of churches doing music and preaching and doing all the stuff. You have a multicultural, multi-generational church. A lot of people want that. They pray for that, but it's like a pink unicorn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it takes a lot of intention. I think it takes a lot, man. And there's so much, back to what you said. You get to play in the sandbox because generations, right? God moving through generations before you. Why don't you guys speak to that? Because I try to tell people about the culture of the church down here, and they can't wrap their minds around it. Because Cincinnati, shout out to all my homies in Southwest Ohio. Dude, culturally, it felt so different coming down here. There's so much that's good. I've made some great friendships. There's so much good to be said about this area, this region, but generationally, racially, it is so unbelievably divided and segregated. It's weird, bro. It's weird. It's so weird. And so we're trying to cultivate this, and right, it's only the Spirit that's going to do that, right? You lift Jesus up, He will draw all men to Himself. But why don't you guys speak to that? And when you planted that church, because that was a startup years ago. How did that path? How did you get there? And what was that like? What were some of the hard times? Because you can't please let's just talk musically, right? You got people who have amazing talent playing Latin music. You have people that are gifted in gospel music. You got other people that love Hillsong or Elevation or whoever the deal is now. Maverick City, whatever. But even musically, you guys have been able to blend all that in such a beautiful, powerful way.
Last night, and it was liberating, and it was. One more time, this is 50 years. 50 years takes
not 50 days.
Time. It takes time, and it takes consistency, and it takes people being committed not to their own life, but those on the horizon. Yeah. So but you in the middle of all of that, I think what I figured out at age 51 is you just got to know who you are.
There you go.
You just got to know and not apologize for it, and not try to be what everyone else wants you to be.
Yeah.
I heard that last night, and I was like, yeah, that and I just want to be like, he's telling the truth. You know what I mean?
Sure.
He's telling the truth, and as long as you know who you are, you can withstand all the criticism.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I know who I am.
Sure.
You can tell me, you can say whatever you want about what I'm doing, but you're just eating the sandwiches I'm making, bro.
Right.
You ain't helping me make these sandwiches.
Yeah.
And God, and I'm not. This isn't arrogance. I'm just saying,
no, it's true. It's true.
You bring. I'm doing this in and out, and I tell people all the time, come back in 5 years. You know what you'll see? I'll be still making these sandwiches.
Still here.
I'm gonna still keep making these sandwiches, but that consistency is what creates. Kingdom. It's kingdom. And it takes generations. If I could tell the church anything today, I'd be like, could y'all just go somewhere and sit down and
stay there. That part.
Because you want your kids. Where are your kids going to worship in? How's it going to have anything if we don't just stay?
Yeah.
How's our kids, our grandkids going to enjoy anything if we don't just teach ourselves to remain in Jesus and build? First generation builds it, second generation protects it, third generation feels entitled to it.
Yeah.
And then the process, we have to stop.
Right.
And then we have to restart all over again.
Sure.
And then we have to he has to rebuild.
Yeah.
And then his kids, maybe they'll have something to play in.
Yeah.
But I think that how you do it, and the thing that I've learned over doing this for about 27 years now, consistently, is just hey, can you just come to the table and stay?
Stay here. Yeah.
Stay. Well, what happened? You know, what you did.
Yeah, yeah.
Can we just work through that?
Work through that. Yeah.
Can we just work through
yeah,
this?
Yeah.
Can we just be mad at each other and
Yeah.
still say, I'm staying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that? How about we don't throw away relationships when we don't understand?
Yeah.
Where'd Patrick go?
Right.
Well, I'm like, where'd Pat go?
Yeah.
Pat just dipped, man. What happened to Pat?
Yeah.
I don't throw it.
Yeah.
Like,
For sure.
Pat, I don't know. That's my dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's good. Yeah.
Years later, right? How many years later?
Yeah.
It was years later.
Yeah.
Hey, you good?
Yeah.
You good? You look like you need a tribe, man. You know you got a tribe still, right?
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
There's not, like,
Yeah.
those are your people.
100%.
People that you can walk back,
Yes.
come home, man. I've been on the road.
Yeah.
Throw the bag down, pull up to the table. Hey, what you got to eat, man?
Yeah.
Like, those are your people.
Yeah,
Like,
for
you
sure.
need some people like that.
Yeah.
And I think if we could put that
So
in the
rare.
generation,
Yeah.
like, look, man, there's going to come times when you're not going to understand things. You're going to disagree with people. You're going to be flat out mad. You're going to feel hurt.
Definitely.
You're going to feel offended. But if you could just sit your behind down somewhere, and stay with the tribe, stay a part of the body instead of like keep breaking it apart.
Yeah.
We could do a lot more.
Definitely.
The bigger we are, the more connected we are, the more influence we have on this world.
Mm-hmm.
But you get mad and you run down the road with your ball and your Bible and you start your own little thing.
Such a good analogy.
And now what? Now we got half the congregation confused.
Yeah.
And we can't influence the
while the
mayor.
world is watching.
Well, who's influencer? Why do we want influence for Jesus?
Yeah.
So we could influence them.
Right.
But we can't influence them because they're like you just took 30% of our resources down the road. Now we can't even feed those who are hungry in our community.
So true.
It's just consistency and it's learning to stay. Like our student ministry, they can brag on themselves here in a second. We can share it, right? But our student ministry is exploding.
Yeah. I love it.
And why?
We've done it every week and don't stop even when people walk away. Like we've had people serve for a year, and then we thought they would be there for as long as we're going to be there, but they go and we stay because that's the legacy that we come from. Like that's the legacy of the house. And
facts.
I think for me, I've had to learn that because I wasn't taught that until I found it.
Yeah.
And I found it, and I've had to choose to stay because even though it was like, it's not that it hasn't been hard, of course it's hard. Like everything is hard. Everything is hard. Like life is hard. No matter where you are, it's going to be hard. But if you choose to stay through the hard, that's what I've learned. Again, from the house is like, if I choose to stay through hard, it's not that it'll get easy, but I'll find out who I am and I'll realize that they love me and they support me. Yeah. If I don't stay, how am I supposed to know that they love me? Right. How am I supposed to feel that the Lord loves me if I don't stay anywhere? God has called me here to this people, to this place. I'm going to serve this place as forever. Yeah. Because it's where he's brought me. And that's what I've been shown. That's the consistency. 50 years, it's been there for 50 years. Yeah. We want 50 more. That's epic, I want to be here for 50. You know what I mean? I want to be, and it's
not lose anointing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
We don't want to lose anointing. We want to increase. How long have you been running the student ministry now?
5 years.
All right. Mm-hmm. And don't you feel like we get to 8?
Yeah. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, I started, we had 12 kids. So when I picked it up, we had 12 students that I was with a small group.
Which is insane the size of our church.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah, we had 4 campuses at that point.
Right. It's crazy.
Yeah, we had 4 campuses, but we had 12.
Well, we were about to lose.
Yeah.
It all.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, man, I mean, just even personally what God has brought me through and grown me and shown me in all of these things. And it's kind of funny because you're a vital part of this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I had DSM for about a year, and then that's when you and Adam showed up, and then we came here. You know, and it was really crazy because when I started, it was a situation of okay, I'll be the youth director. I wasn't gonna preach. I'm not going on stage. I'm not doing none of that stuff. I'll lead this little small group. I'll pour into these kids. But I worked. You know what I mean? Like those 12 kids, I was in their life, man. I was at the game. I was at their dance. I was taking their pictures before the prom. Like, I'm in there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to work these 12 kids. I'm going to make sure they know every single story in this Bible. Like, it was that. And then after that, we kind of talked about it a little bit before this podcast. Like, God shut a door. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, shut a door. Before that, I was living in Haiti, doing missions, growing things, and doing all this amazing stuff. And my heart was still there. Yeah. And I had every intention to still be actively there while still doing this. And man, God shut it. You know what I mean? He absolutely shut that door. And it was like, okay, well, now what do I do? You know what I mean? I've lost my whole connection to this place where I thought I was going to be working and living and operating from forever. I'm in this position where I got these like 12, 14 kids that I'm pouring into and discipling. And it was like, well, no, you're going to go do that. Yeah. You know, you're going to go do that. And I remember, you know, right as that door shut, we came here. And I told you that first time, I was like, yeah, I don't preach. Like, we'll come and we'll serve. And like,
look at how the tables have turned.
I told you, you're like, do you want to speak?
Look at how the turns of table.
Yeah. But you did, you were like, you want to speak? Do you want to say? And I'm like, nah, bro. Like, I don't do that. You know? But, you know, I think through that, it was just God showed me, like, even through that first trip and even through you and David and Adam showing up on that first thing we ever did, and really him speaking and telling me, like, listen, bro, like, there's nothing you don't do. Like, there's absolutely nothing that you don't do. You can, and I think we went camping the week after that. I'd never been camping my whole life. I hated outdoors. I didn't want to do none of that. And it was like, but it was after this trip that we came here, I was like, I do everything. Yeah. Like, I don't know who I am anymore because who I was, that door shut. And so now, whoever God you want me to be, whatever then you want. I'll go camping. I'll, you know what I mean? I'll preach the word. I'll sing the song. I'll do whatever the heck you want me to do. I'll do it. And then committing to that and staying in it, you know,
because it's not about,
it's not me anymore. There's nothing anymore. So that's where I am now with it. And like, we talked about this, and one of my football coach from the middle school and high school, his saying from the time we were in 7th grade was, those who stay will be champions. Those who stay will be champions. And it was this thing because the private schools were trying to steal us from the middle school to come play football for them.
That's what Pride will do.
Yeah, and they'll try. He said, "Hey, we got St. Ed's, we got St. Ignatius. We're the biggest, best. You'll get a scholarship if you come here." And our coach told us, "Hey, look, if y'all stay, you'll be champions." Yeah, and we did. And we were the best, and we killed it. Every single kid that was on the team that was good had a full ride. Like, it was no, you know what I mean? Like, and so it was a life principle. And even now, man, it's like, dude, if you'll just stay, if you'll stay in that place that we talked about at the beginning of just authentic, like, I'm okay. If you'll work it out, if you'll work out that salvation, if you'll stay,
so good,
dude, you'll be a champion.
You'll be a
champion.
You'll love yourself. Not love yourself. You'll be so proud of yourself. Right? If I could talk to your inner core, like your core volunteers, your core team, I would ask them this question. I'd say, hey, Joe, I know you're the worship pastor now, and you like it. But what I'm going to ask you to do is if you're not going to be happy being the worship pastor for 20 years from now, I need you to quit today. Yeah. Because we're not playing for you to build a platform.
There you go.
For you, so you could go and do the next thing on your list. Right. We're building a platform for the next 3 generations to stand on. So I need you to lose you and present Jesus at least, not for 4 years, not for 8 years, for 20 years. If you're not down for 20 years, leave. I don't want you at this table. I only want people at this table that are a part of this family, that are committed to this family, that are ride or die, come hell or high water, come no money, all the money, come, like all of it.
Offense.
You gotta stay right there. Mad. You're gonna come to work mad. You're gonna make those worship songs. Mad. You're gonna cuss me out when you get in your car. But you know what you're not gonna do? You're not gonna leave. You're not gonna leave. And if you stay,
you'll be a champion.
You'll be a champion. Man, that's a word, bro.
And you'll be a champion over the things that
matter,
that were important to you. We had a couple Sundays ago, I had a friend from back when I was like really cool. Like I was cool at one point in my life. I had cool shoes. Yeah, he made this ring that PT's wearing. Yeah.
Nice.
So I was cool. I was cool in Cleveland. I had cool clothes, a grill, like I was out there, like I was at
gang.
I was out there with the rappers and the NBA players and the release parties, and I was cool. So since having God close all those doors and becoming who I am, I had a friend come to church, and I've been inviting him since I became a pastor, so like a year and a half, inviting him every single Sunday. Yo, come to church, say what's up. Like I'm about to preach. Hey, I'm come through. Like just come see what's up. And he hit me up one day and he was like, hey, me and my girl are going to come to church. And they came to church. And man, you know, we talked about that authenticity. There was a moment there when they walked in where like my old everything just kind of came into my spirit. And I was just like, oh crap. Like I got to go up there and pray, and I got to like, I was like, wait a minute, you knew me from the Adidas launch party, and you knew me from the rappers and the cool people. Like you knew me from being cool, and it was like, oh no, like I don't know if I can do this. Exactly. But you know what? And they came in, they did their thing. I went up, opened the service, transition, all this stuff. PT preached, and afterwards, I felt the Holy Spirit say, "Hey, go pray for those people." Yeah, and I was like. All of me was like, dude, I've already went up there and talked. I already prayed. I already did a lot more than I feel comfortable with. But you know what? I went and I prayed with them. I was like, hey, come here, let's pray. It's funny. And I prayed for them. And like that, it may not seem that significant, but for me, it was like, oh, I'm a champion over that. Yeah. Like man. I stayed and I was loyal and I was obedient and I stayed in what God has called me to do, even when I didn't feel confident in it, but I was able to do the thing that old me. There's no way I would have ever done that, especially with those people specifically that I want to look cool to. You know what I mean? For sure. And so for me, it was like this, like, bro, David and Goliath moment where I was like, I did it. Like that was it. Like I conquered that fear and that old self of being timid in my faith or living this way and that way with a different group of people. And it was like a complete moment of reflection of saying, oh, wow, like that's what this past 5 years was for. So good. That's what this past 5 years just did. I was able to go pray for those people. And now they love it. They love the Lord. They want to hear more. They want to be in it. And it's like, epic. Oh, man.
I'll talk to Gideon right now.
Yeah.
Gideon's out there listening. Like, I really talk to you and tell you, like, don't be surprised at who leaves your table. When you lay the standard down, there are going to be people that are going to walk away you're going to be like, what? And don't be offended by it. Right. That's the big thing. Like, don't let it hurt you to the point to where it angers you and you become vindictive and bitter. Instead, Gideon, just know that there's a greater victory with less. And the less, it was always less in the Bible, right? Right. Always less.
They were outnumbered all the time.
There was always less. The less bread and fish they brought to the table, the more Jesus showed up. The more bread they brought, the less Jesus was like, oh, you don't need me to do that much. That's good. And so I think we overestimate what we need, who we need at our table. Man. And it's not about quantity. Facts. It's about quality. It's getting the right people. And I say that not from a place of like bitterness, because
you've gone through it.
I've had real dogs at my table. Like, I'm like, there was a time where I thought my table was stacked for the championship for the next 10 years. I'm like, we're rolling in victory forever with this squad. And one by one, you see the table start. The chairs become empty, and you have to take them chairs and stack them up over in the room until you're left with with the Gideon's army, and
Yeah.
you're like, okay, you're like, okay, if this is what you want, God, if you think we can do it, and God's like, we can do it,
Yeah.
we can do it. Let me show you how to drink this water.
Yeah.
Drink with your head up. You live with,
Yeah.
And so I know that's real.
So
People
good.
believe you is real. People believe you know that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Facts.
People believe it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believing is
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
You're like, what?
Yeah.
Leaving? You're leaving?
Yeah.
Because of what?
Yeah.
Because of politics?
Because of that.
Or
Yeah.
you're leaving because you can't control everything?
Right.
I mean, you want to control
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
going to make you feel, oh, man,
For sure.
Don't leave for that. But then you're like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
And then they leave. And then you watch God move.
Yeah.
And your confidence in God becomes so strong. You're
Yeah.
like, oh man, let me tell you something. God doesn't meet me. He doesn't
Yeah.
meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You won't do it, Esther. Guess what?
Right. He's got somebody else. Yeah.
Somebody else
Yeah,
will.
Yeah. And I think what you spoke to is so powerful. If they ever come back, the door's still open.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The table of the Lord.
And you guys have lived that out like that. Yeah, that's rare.
Yeah.
That's rare.
Yeah.
And
That's
I think that's powerful.
That's real.
That's powerful because we've all walked out in one way or another at some point, right, in our lives, relationships, friendships. And when that person does return, it's like to not be met with judgment or be met with, hey, you can come in, but make sure you sit back there. Yeah.
I mean,
it's powerful.
You get some practical to that. Like you come back. You come back as a son or a daughter. But there is a thing. Like, okay, so every voice has weight,
Yeah.
but not every voice has equal weight. And sometimes
For sure.
our voice loses its weight when we walk away.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I don't know, and there's a window of opportunity.
Yeah.
And I would say this to everybody out
that's
there,
good.
right?
Yeah.
If you're in ministry, and you're you better be careful walking away.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
windows of opportunity don't stay open forever.
For sure.
And there are times when you walk away from something and you'll want to come back to it.
Yeah.
And you're a son or daughter, you're always welcome at the table.
Sure.
But let me tell you something. You don't.
Yeah.
The weight of that anointing now, I'm not in control of that.
Yeah.
I don't have the authority to give or take it from you.
Sure.
I'm just telling you that when the king told the prophet to open the window, or when the prophet told the king, open the window, it was a window of opportunity.
Yeah.
And he said, shoot. Now he said, shoot, and he shot 3. Remember the story?
Yep.
And he shot 3, and he said you should have shot more.
Yeah.
Because the opportunity presented itself within time for just a
good.
window.
Yeah.
And there are certain windows that will close on you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if I don't know if that window will ever open again.
Yeah.
So be careful walking away and throwing people away,
Sure,
bro.
there you
Like,
go.
stop doing that.
Yeah.
If you'll be better off just staying until
Right,
till
right,
God
right.
reveals the
Yeah.
next thing, and then we can all get together and go, man, I really feel like the Lord's
Sure.
doing this thing.
Yeah.
But I've over my years of doing this thing, I've watched people. I've watched people struggle through the departures and
Sure.
comfort is an elixir that will make you stay longer than you should in some instances. Because sometimes God moves you.
Sure.
And because you won't move.
Yeah. Unless you're forced out.
You won't move unless He closes doors and unless relationships become
Yeah.
contentious at times.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't have to become contentious for us to hear God speak.
That's it.
To say,
Yeah.
Pat's moving to Cincinnati,
Yeah.
Troy.
Yeah.
You don't have to be mad about it.
Yeah.
You ain't got to be in your feelings because you feel like,
Sure.
bro, I want you to stay here.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be upset. You don't,
For
you don't have to count him an enemy for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
that's just maturity. We got to get to a place
Sure.
where, like, hey, understand that your time at the table, like, if you leave and you try to come back, you come back as a son, but I don't know if you come back with the same anointing.
Sure.
The same, that authority.
Sure.
Because authority, like, you know this, right? Let's talk real. Spiritual authority is not. It's not like it comes with a title.
Oh yeah.
It comes with servanthood.
There you go. That part.
It comes with servanthood. And if you walk
And
away,
one of the number one requirements of a biblical servant was faithfulness,
if you
longevity.
walk away from
Yeah.
it,
Yep.
do you still carry the same spiritual
Yeah.
authority when you try to come back?
Yeah.
No, you don't. And we'd be wrong for giving you that same third
Yeah.
authority back.
Sure.
We'd be mishandling the authority of God.
Definitely.
That's a whole different subject.
No, that's good. That's good. So somebody out there, stick it out, man. Stick it out, homie. Just stay. I think of some fights I was in as a kid, and like, you have some problem with somebody and you end up scrapping and then you become friends,
Best friend,
right? And maybe we need to learn how to fight better in church,
Right.
Yeah.
for sure.
Don't
we?
And I don't mean like just for the sake of fighting, but like maybe we need to learn how to work through that, and maybe that person that you have a conflict with, they can pull something beautiful out of you, and you can have a bond and a friendship with that person that you never thought you could if you'll just stick it out.
Isn't that how it
fight.
is, though?
Yeah,
Like you become more intimate with one another when you,
Without
when
a
you
doubt.
wrestle through
Bro.
one another's pain.
yeah,
Because I know your pain now.
Yeah,
you know my
yeah.
pain, and now we've managed to like just kind of just get through it.
yeah,
And you think about marriage,
right,
and you don't just walk away because it got hard. I've never been married a hard day in my life. Maybe a minute,
yeah,
but not a day. But I just don't. I think the intimacy that we're looking for, I think the connection we're looking for, is found in going through the hard together.
yeah, together,
It bonds us. It unifies us.
yeah,
But today, it's something missing in the kingdom.
so true.
It's just throwaway culture has taught us
Yeah.
to just move down the road.
Just cancel, move on.
Jump to the
Yeah.
next one. Jump to the next
Yeah.
bed. Jump to the next
Yeah.
friend. Jump
Yep.
to the next. Just jump
For sure.
Just jump out.
Well, if you
So-
fight, you have to be authentic.
Yeah,
You have to show.
You're gonna be.
You have to tell somebody, hey, you know what? Like, this made me mad. And you have to be honest. And not many people want to be honest, especially not when it's with somebody that, they think should respect them, or you think, I deserve this. So why would I tell you that you didn't give this to me? And it's hard. I'm dealing with that with my own family right now. It's like, why won't you just call me? Like, why? Why are you talking to everybody else? Why not just
Yeah.
call me, dude?
Yeah.
Like, let's just talk and work through it. Like, please, let's
Yeah,
work
yeah,
through
yeah.
it so that there's not bitterness, because bitterness remains until it's healed. And it can only be healed when you're together, when you fight, when you work through it. Like, it's almost like the oil is produced when you fight. Like, when you fight, the bond is produced. It is. It really is. The press, like when you're pressed, when it's hard, like that's when you're yoked together and you have to work through something together, then you're bonded. But if you leave the yoke, or you never allow yourself to be yoked, like, bro,
yeah.
and it's hard. Like, it's hard to fight. It's hard to fight. It's hard to be authentic.
For sure.
When you can walk away.
Because
Like,
you could be genuine, but you could be genuinely wrong.
yeah. Nobody wants to be genuine.
wrong.
Yeah,
For
no
sure.
one wants to be wrong.
Like, I'm gonna tell you how I feel.
Yeah.
But just because you feel that don't mean it's real.
Yeah.
And that's a word for somebody.
Yeah,
just because
man.
you feel a bunch of stuff doesn't make it.
Doesn't make it right. Yeah. It's so good.
And it's okay to be wrong too.
Yeah.
It's
okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
You can take some L's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true. So true, man. Powerful stuff. Well, hopefully we can do this again, man. I definitely want to. I'll come up north. We'll do the next episode. I want to be mindful of your time, and we're all getting hungry, man. We're gonna go eat, homie. So thank you guys for joining us for this episode of the Fringe Podcast, man. There was so much here to digest, homie. You're gonna have to run it back a couple times, listen to it a couple times. There were so many nuggets in there.
I just want to say to your listeners, this is the real guy. This guy's real. This is real, man. This is real. There ain't but 4 people real in the world. I mean, honestly, like they're running out of them.
Yeah, I appreciate
running
that.
out of them. And like,
Thank you, man.
Your spirit,
Same.
your spirit, bro, it needs to be put into a generation.
I appreciate that.
And I just
man.
declare that over this house,
Yeah.
this region.
Yeah, man.
I declare a day soon coming of overflow
Yeah.
Amen.
to this house, man. I bless you.
I receive that.
Love you like,
Yeah, man.
love you deep. And pray the Lord's increase on your life in every area.
Amen.
Thankful for you.
You too, brother.
You call me. You know what? You about. You're the only one. That's real. I'm saying something real right
Stop.
now. You are the only one who texts me and asks me, "How you doing?" There ain't nobody out there. The people you're the only one. I'm embarrassed because I'm like, I should have texted him.
No, it's
Right?
never with that.
I should have texted.
It's never with that.
I should have sent a text the day after Easter to Pat, like, how you doing?
No, you do. You do as well. Yeah.
Right? But you're the only one that checks on me. That's real. That's who this guy is.
Yeah.
That's who that guy is.
Yeah.
Appreciate
You're the only one.
Yeah. Well, to me, I really value people. I love you too, brother. I value people who have always been there, and they walk with you through the good, the bad, the messy, the ugly, they stay. They stay.
We ain't got to talk to each other every day.
Yeah.
Right. But when we see each other.
Oh, it's pick it up.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So don't settle for peanut butter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
peanut butter is not the
That's
sauce.
not sauce, bro.
Get the real thing. I'm gonna name
the
it that.
Sauce of heaven. You don't want the
I'm
peanut
literally
butter.
gonna name it that.
You don't want the peanut butter of the world. You want the
So
sauce
funny.
from the Lord.
Peanut butter is-
Oh my gosh.
Man,
Love y'all.
peanut butter is not sauce.
We love you guys. If you got any comments, feedback, drop us a comment, spread the word, man. We would love to have as many people as we can hear this powerful conversation. Grace and peace, homies. We will see you soon.